It is Graham here, living the dream in July 2022. Fiona and I are currently at the Sandals Montego Bay in Jamaica, and this is part 3 of our vacation diary. On Saturday morning, I was up just after 6 a.m. to start my resort and room tour. As you all know, I like to do these early in the morning to try and reduce the number of other guests that end up in my videos. And of course, my resort and room tour from the Sandals Montego Bay in July 2022 has already been produced and uploaded to YouTube. You just need to go back to video number 202 for my in-depth review on the Sandals Montego Bay. Right, Saturday morning, where are we going, Michael? Because I have absolutely no clue where you're taking us today.
Royal Plantation.
The Royal Plantation. So we're going to want to see the Royal Plantation.
And then the island off the Royal Plantation.
And then the island called Cuba.
Yep. Cuba, yeah.
Cuba, por favor. Okay guys, you probably realised by now we're not going to the Sandals Royal Plantation at all. We're going to the Sandals Royal Caribbean. And for those of you who have visited the Sandals Montego Bay or the Sandals Royal Caribbean before will know that both resorts are next door to each other, and connectivity between both resorts is via this small minibus which runs roughly every 30 minutes and takes just under 10 minutes to transfer you between either resort. So Fiona, Donna, Michael and I joined a number of other Sandals Montego Bay guests heading in the direction of the Sandals Royal Caribbean. I'm not sure if the Sandals Royal Caribbean is anywhere near the same size as Sandals Montego Bay. And when you're dropped off by the bus, it's like arriving in a rather colonial style building. And just off the main reception area is this open air restaurant, which is a French restaurant. We ate here once as a group of 4, and again Fiona and I came back on the evening that Donna and Michael left for the UK. And it was pretty good, guys. In fact, I would hold it up as good as the French restaurant at the Sandals L'Azores Grenada, which currently is one of our favourites. And then walking through the reception, or should I call it the lobby area here at the Sandals Royal Caribbean, you exit into this very pretty garden area separated by small bridges over little lazy river pools. As the 4 of us continued to explore this lovely Sandals resort, our first impressions were, guys, we were very impressed. One thing that I do need to explain about the Sandals Royal Caribbean, it's built on a lagoon, which means the beach area here that you can see is not open to the sea. And the one thing that makes the Sandals Royal Caribbean very different from any other Sandals we've ever visited before, this resort has a mainland and an island. And here on the mainland side is the resort itself. And across on the island is a Thai restaurant, a jerk shack, and some rather gorgeous overwater bungalows. And of course, the only way to get across to the island is by a boat, which runs on a near constant basis between the mainland and of course the island. In October 2020, when we last visited the Sandals Grand St. Lucian, we visited the overwater bungalows at our favourite resort. And from a distance, these overwater bungalows at the Sandals Royal Caribbean in Jamaica look very similar. However, I think this island provides a certain amount of additional privacy. And in my opinion, that can only be a benefit when you're paying the kind of money that Sandals wants for one of these overwater bungalows. Even from this island, the overwater bungalows are accessed via this bridge, with clear signage advising all of those who were crossing that it was for the guests of the overwater bungalows only. But for the rest of this island, it was open to all Sandals guests. By the time we got to this resort and the island, it was probably around 11:30 a.m. So you can see the butlers have also got to these loungers by this little heart-shaped pool on the island. And of course, being Sandals, none of the guests had taken up the loungers at all. It is an absolutely ridiculous situation at Sandals this weather. And at the Sandals Royal Caribbean, this, guys, is the Jerk Shack. And this, of course, is the Thai restaurant. Now, I love Thai food and I was really looking forward to eating at this restaurant, but we never managed to reserve a table during our 14 nights at the Sandals Montego Bay. If you had watched my resort and room tour back in video number 202, you may remember me describing the fact that Sandals are currently reducing the number of guests in each of their restaurants to try and keep the level of customer service high. However, I do think that this has given Sandals an even larger problem to deal with, because they're allowing an occupancy level in the resorts at over 98%. So the Sandals Montego Bay is simply not able to provide the restaurant choices that guests want during their vacation. Anyway, we could see the ferry was on its way back, so it was time to head back to the pier and catch said ferry back to the main resort. This resort seemed to have lots of little nooks and crannies, including pools like this one, which included this awesome swim-up bar, but we'll come back to that a little bit later on, as we continued our walk around what was an incredibly impressive Sandals resort. This video from the beach gives you a very good idea of what this lagoon is all about, with the sandbank out in the distance, protecting the Sandals Royal Caribbean from the Caribbean Sea. And here's another lovely little nook and cranny, a fantastic little beach with plenty of people on it this time. And here's another little pool, which really does add to the ambience, including the fact this is simply a very interesting little resort. And seeing Michael on this pier means I think we've made it to the end of the road, or should I say, made it to the end of this resort. Anyway, reaching the end of the road, or was it the end of the resort, meant that it was time to head back to the bar and get a well-earned drink before we made our way back to the Sandals Montego Bay for lunch. And how was that for timing? The shuttle bus was there waiting to take us back to Montego Bay. even making our way to the pool loungers around lunchtime. As you can see, they were empty. There was plenty available for Fiona and I. But I also think that Saturday is one of the larger, busier changeover days here at Sandals, so there was probably a lot of guests leaving the resort while we were waiting on new guests to arrive. Cheers! And later on Saturday afternoon, Michael and I thought we would try some more snorkeling. And buzzing from the failures of yesterday, or should I say Friday, we had hopes for more fish this time. Yep, I have to admit that today's snorkeling was a lot more successful than yesterday. And on Saturday night, we headed to Oleander's for dinner. I have to admit, guys, that it was probably one of the worst meals we'd had during our stay at the Sandals Montego Bay. And this is where we're going to bring Saturday to a close. But not before I share a time lapse of the sunset from Donna and Michael's room. That is 3:20. Graham here, living the dream in July 2022. We were picked up from the Sandals Montego Bay at just before 10 a.m. this morning. We've been driven up about 45 minutes to the Martha Brae River, where we're going to go rafting. It's going to take about 75 minutes, and then we'll be picked up and taken back to the resort. So let's go with Fiona, Donna, Michael and myself as we go rafting on the Martha Brae River. Armed with the tickets that we booked from the on-site Sandals tour desk in the lobby bar, Fiona and I were ready to head to the lobby to be collected for the 45-minute drive to the Martha Brae River. And as we approached the main pool, where of course Fiona and I had been sunbathing for the last few days, we saw the towel station being replenished by beach towels. But I have to be clear, guys, I think during our 14 nights at the Sandals Montego Bay, this was the one and only time we saw the beach towels being replenished in the morning. You excited, Donna? Are you excited, Michael?
Yeah.
Are you excited, Fiona?
Straight. Are you excited, Graham?
What the hell have I got myself into this morning? These lot are a bundle of laughs. I need new friends and a new wife, right?
You'll never get special friends like us.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I don't think at my time in life that I could meet friends as special as Michael and Donna. They are the special ones, for sure. I think it was about 8:10 on Sunday morning that we met in the lobby reception to be collected by the transport that would be taking us to the Martha Brae River. Our tickets were then collected and checked by a representative from the Sandals tour desk before we headed to the pickup point at the front of the resort, where our bus would be arriving shortly to take us on the 45-minute drive. This was going to be rather a hard trip to vlog because heavily tinted windows are a thing of nightmares for a vlogger like myself. So I'm afraid, guys, that I'm not going to be showing you too much from this bus ride from the Sandals Montego Bay to the car park at the Martha Brae River Rafting Centre. We did, however, stop at the Iberworld Resort to collect more guests for this tour. And then we were off again, bound for the Martha Brae River. Our next tour on Friday will be to the Duns River Falls. The great news is, guys, on that trip I called shotgun and got some great footage as we travelled eastbound along the A1, which is the main road linking Montego Bay and Kingston. So watch out for that footage coming up in a future episode. But back to this episode, we're finally arriving at the car park where we would get off the bus and get our first view of the Martha Brae River. I want to point out, guys, that this tour is not whitewater river rafting, and much to Donna's disappointment, this was going to be a much more sedate version of rafting on the Martha Brae River. However, as you can see, life jackets were still mandatory as we made our way down to the start point. And here are the bamboo rafts that will be taking us on our journey down this lovely little lazy river. So we all lined up to take our turn to board our raft. I must say that the boarding process was very efficient and well organised. Donna, the special ones are going first.
See you on the flip side.
Testicle, spectacles, wallet, watch, Donna. So as Donna and Michael boarded their raft, Fiona and I prepared to wave them goodbye and prepare ourselves for following on the next raft. I'm not sure what we expected from this river raft, but you know, guys, it was a lovely way to spend a Sunday morning in Jamaica. Our guide was excellent and talked us through many points of interest as we made our way down the river. And as I suggested earlier, to Donna's disappointment, without a Category 5 white river rapid in sight. And as you make your way down the Martha Brae River on these bamboo rafts, you will come across these pop-up like market stalls where you are encouraged to buy. However, we didn't. And in case you're wondering, the journey down the Martha Brae River from start to finish can take anywhere between 45 minutes and 90 minutes depending on how much rain they've had in Jamaica. From memory, I think our trip took just over 1 hour. And 2/3 of our way through the trip, we caught up with Michael and Donna. The special ones are losing. as we approach Schumacher chicane.
So lovely, isn't it?
It's beautiful. It's so. You haven't got to the Category 5 rapid yet, Donna? And I can't say this often enough, guys, this was an extremely relaxing way to spend a Sunday morning during our MOBAY 70 Nights in the Making adventure. their downtimes, the rafting guys make this art to try and supplement their income, as you get offered the opportunity to purchase the product of their labour towards the end of your rafting experience. And that's it, we'd reached the end of our Sunday morning raft on the Martha Brae River, and Fiona and I can't recommend this trip highly enough. If you're looking for something a little different and extremely relaxing to do during your MOBAY adventure. So with Donna and Michael coming in behind us, all that now stood between us and our journey back to the Sandals Montego Bay, of course, was the obligatory gift shop. And that's it, guys, we were back on the bus bound for Sandals Montego Bay. So Sunday afternoon, Fiona and I are just back in the room, and this is something that Fiona's noticed I haven't, probably because I've drunk too much by then. Because every time you've done an island routes tour, you get something left in your room. Today, a bottle of fizz and some chocolate dipped covered fruit. That'll be the 2:30 even in Miami probably, or Fort Lauderdale, or Orlando, or Tampa, I don't know. But anyway, bottle of bubbly, chocolate covered fruit. Chocolate covered fruit. Truth be told, guys, we found out a little bit later that the chocolate covered fruit and the champagne had not been provided by the island tour desk, but it was a little gift from our other awesome friends from the UK, Mr. and Mrs. Sandals themselves, Ken and Myra. Back at the resort, we did very little else that Sunday afternoon, except heading straight to Mariners for a bite of lunch. Happy Sunday. Sunday night, day 5, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Day 5. I'm lost count. It's day 5. It's Sunday. We've been rafting on the Martha Brae River today.
Very strenuous. Incredibly strenuous.
It was very, very strenuous. And tonight we're off to Butch's, which was our favourite in Grenada. Let's see if it still remains our favourite here at Montego Bay. Right, let's go and find Donna and Michael, get a drink and get some steak. As that introduction stated, Fiona, Donna, Michael and I were off to Butch's for dinner tonight. We were really looking forward to our steak on this very Sunday evening. When you arrive at Butch's or Soy, before you get seated in the restaurant, you get to spend some time at this awesome outdoor bar. I guess you really don't have to, but it would be rude not to, guys. And you know, it was a lot of fun and a fantastic place to enjoy each other's company while waiting to be seated at Butch's restaurant, where we all had an absolutely fantastic meal. And when we made it back to the main lobby area on that Sunday night, a disco was well underway. And this is where we're going to bring Sunday to a close. And coming up in part 4 of our holiday diary, the beach towels get replenished before midday. Fiona line dances on the beach Jamaican style. We all make the biggest mistake of our vacation so far and go in to visit the hip strip in Montego Bay. And back in the resort, Fiona sings for her lunch.
You're my angel, you're my darling baby.
And then multiple bottles of Pinot Grigio get Fiona and Donna into trouble. And then Michael and I take the official Sandals snorkeling trip. So all of this to come in part 4 of MOBAY 70 Nights in the Making. So you know what to do, guys, if you want to continue to follow Fiona, Donna, Michael and I as we do Montego Bay Large. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon to be notified when our next video is published. So until that next episode, thank you very much for watching.